New on Curiosity Stream.
Just because it hasn't been done before doesn't mean you can't.
Watch Earth's greatest minds forge our path to a better tomorrow. It's engineering the future. And Jaws, Star Wars, The Godfather, E.T. The biggest movies have even bigger music. From King Kong to The Dark Knight. See how musicians scored Hollywood's greatest hits on great film composers' music of the movies. Watch now on Curiosity Stream. Annual plans are $20, just $1.67 a month. Visit curiositystream.com.
This podcast is brought to you by the Washington State Department of Health. As we continue to listen, learn, and grow, we are amplifying Black voices and perspectives in an effort to start a new COVID-19 vaccine conversation. We're sharing stories intended to help us navigate this unprecedented time together and to co-create solutions in support of the Black community. Hear these stories at weconsiderwa.org.
What's up? It's your boy, The Ted Smith. Thanks for listening to the Men's Room Daily Podcast. Want more? Check out the greatest podcast in all the land, The Podcast. Be sure to subscribe and listen to a brand new episode every Tuesday night.
Somebody out there deserves to be recognized. And the Men's Room knows just who it is. So to you, we say, bottoms up, sailor. You're the toast of our shot of the day.
Drink time it is, and as usual, we head to the drink desk and Stephen Throwhill to find out who we're toasting.
Yes, indeed, and today we toast Mr. Angel Mazdev of Hartsville, South Carolina. Now, like a lot of people, Angel has daydreamed about robbing a bank. I mean, who hasn't? But the difference between us and Angel is that Angel decided to stop daydreaming and make it a reality. Now, he did not come up with anything elaborate, opting instead just to use a handwritten note. And the note wasn't even anything special. It just had the standard, give me all the cash from all the drawers or he'd kill. That is paraphrasing. Well, bank employees, they contacted the cops. Cops showed up with guns drawn, and they arrested him in the parking lot. And the reason his bank heist ended so anticlimactically is simply this. Angel never went inside the bank. No, his genius to attempt to rob the bank was pulling it to the drive-thru and putting his note in the pneumatic tube.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
What did he think, that they were going to send all the money back in the tube to him?
Yes. So you thunk.
They could only put so much money in there anyway.
He sends the note, he waits, and I believe they sent a message back like, thunk, we're working on it now. But he waited. He waited in the middle lane of the drive-thru.
Where was this at?
South Carolina.
I wonder if they gave him a lollipop
Gracious.
or a dog biscuit.
Something. They probably just keep him waiting. They pointed out, they didn't even hit like the panic button thing. They said we straight up called the cops because he's outside.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like, they were probably just in there dying laughing.
Oh, yeah. So just put out the cell phone like, yeah, we got an idiot here. Come get him.
That's the difference between being a child and an adult. When you're an adult, money comes back or money goes. When you're a kid, you get a sucker or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah, the bank give him, like, it's my account. Why are you hooking up my kid?
Yeah, why don't I get
Hey,
candy?
damn, give me a blow pop.
Seriously.
I know you got the good stuff in the bottom drawer, not these dum-dums.
I feel like the bank only calls you as an adult to be like, hey, you can do this. Like, you want me to go into debt?
Right. Yes, we
Yeah,
do.
sure. We'll give you, like, this much money right now.
We love people in debt. If you're not in debt, it does nothing for us.
When I was going to the dentist as a kid, they had a toy chest. They don't need any more when I'm an adult. I want the toy chest back.
And you don't get grief as a kid. I was at the dentist last Friday. I got grief and a cleaning.
I always get the same
Yeah.
thing, those temporary tattoos that they had in Cracker Jacks. They had those in that box. It was like, temporary tattoos, yeah.
I never got temporary tattoos. Look what happened.
I know.
See, Mom and Dad? So we pour this booze and we drink this booze because we think it's yummy.
Yummy!
So over the tongue and down the throat to party in our tummies. Down the hola bichola.
The Men's Room presents Profile
Hey,
This.
Stephen Throwhill, could you please tell everyone how Profile This is played?
I sure can, Miles. It's a simple game where we share with you a real-life news story, something that happened right here on planet Earth. Earth. And as you listen to the story, based on the stereotypes you believe to be true of people and the decisions that people make, we'll ask you what it is you think makes the story a story. Hello, Lisa. Welcome to the Men's Room.
Hola!
Hola. All right, Lisa, you understand how this here game is played?
I do know how it's played.
Fantastic. Then you probably know that you have your choice of one of three stories. We have the wonderful world of drugs. We have Bite Me. In other words, what did someone find in their food? And finally, interior decorating, where you guessed the foreign object that ended up on the inside of someone.
Okay, I'm going to have to go with the wonderful world of drugs because I failed it last
You will conquer drugs, Lisa.
You sound like someone who may have conquered some drugs in your time.
Well, I'm not saying that I haven't.
Okay. Well, let's see where your drug experience brings you today. Pretend you're trying to earn your marriage badge in drug detecting. They didn't have that in Boy Scouts, did they, Mike? No. Yeah. See, I'd have been an Eagle Scout like 8 times over. All right. Here's your story. A Glendale, Arizona man who told police that he was high on drugs when he struck an elderly woman with a shovel was charged with first-degree burglary and assault with a deadly weapon. The 20-year-old man, Mr. Robert White, he was arrested after barricading himself inside of his apartment. Officers were eventually able to subdue him after firing off a rubber bullet and a taser. Now, as White was carried off and handcuffed to a chair, he yelled, quote, "God loves all you, except you, Gary." Actually, I made up that last part. He did scream, "God loves all you," to the bystanders. Police said later he told officers at the hospital that he'd ingested drugs that were dissolved into his soda. Now, a witness said that White told the woman that he'd attacked, quote, "I hate you and I want to kill you today." He then struck her in the head with a shovel, but this was after the elderly woman had asked him politely to stop swinging that same shovel at the birds. Well, the woman was treated for what police said were non-life-threatening injuries, but when they showed up, White ran into his apartment, barricaded himself inside before police arrived, prompting a nearly hour-long standoff, and authorities eventually entered his apartment. Do you know what they did? The landlord gave him the key, so they just unlocked the door and walked in. But he was still uncooperative, so they had to break out the rubber bullets and the taser. Prosecutors filed a burglary charge because he had briefly entered the woman's apartment as she called police for help. Now, he admitted he was on drugs. He even told the cops what drug he was on, and he dissolved it into his soda. But the question is, what drug was he on that they had to handcuff him to a chair just to get him to a police car? Was it PCP, flakka, crack, or bath salts? So PCP, flakka, crack, or bath salts?
Jeez.
Would you eat a candy called flakka cracks?
No, I wouldn't. That sounds a little bit more out of my element, but I almost want to say that, oh, man. It sounds like it's a toss-up between PCP and bath salts, but bath salts, I think he would be a little bit more aggressive, even though he sounded pretty aggressive.
I mean, he hit a woman with a shovel. And my
I definitely don't think it's crack cocaine, Lisa.
What did he scream again?
What did he swing?
No, what did he scream? He hit her with a shovel.
He said, let me find the quote for her. He says, quote, "I hate you and I want to kill you today."
Oh, that's wrong.
No, that's not the quote. I'm just talking to Ted. But oddly enough, he did say those same words.
Lisa, I think I'm leaning bath salt in the bath salt direction. I think that because he dissolved it in his drink. Not that you couldn't dissolve any of the stuff in a drink, but it just, I don't know. For whatever reason, the fact that he had superhuman strength, basically. Bath salts.
Yeah, I was thinking definitely bath salts. Definitely not crack. I don't think that you would not want to dissolve that in a drink, as far as I know.
And I've known people who have done that before, and I've never seen them crazy.
Oh, you guys, well, that's more knowledge than I have, but I'm leaning towards bath salts.
You gonna go bath salts? Final answer?
Yeah, final answer.
Ted?
Again, your impression of crackheads blows my mind. You're always like, no, they seem fine. Like, how many crackheads have you interacted with?
They seem fine to me.
Yeah, I was going to say, man, there's a reason.
They seem like they were on crack.
Yeah. Well, you got to remember, it's only a couple minutes. It's a time length thing with crack. You can't just continually keep smoking and being that high. You can, but he would have to continually do it. If a half an hour passed, he'd have to light up like 4 or 5 times.
But crackheads do that.
They do that.
They do that.
I'm going with PCP.
That's why they're so annoying.
Yeah, I was going to say, man.
All right. We're going to find out what was this guy on. PCP, flakka, crack, or bath salts next.
That was a tease.
New on Curiosity Stream, she was a loving wife, a devoted mother. She also stole atomic secrets and gave them to the Soviets. Meet the woman whose deception kick-started the Cold War on the spy who stole the atom bomb. And
what if they catch you?
Then I shall be shot.
They're coming! Come back!
relive history's most death-defying escapes. It's Impossible Escapes, Civil War. Watch now on Curiosity Stream. Annual plans are $20, just $1.67 a month. Visit curiositystream.com.
This podcast is brought to you by the Washington State Department of Health. As we continue to listen, learn, and grow, we are amplifying Black voices and perspectives in an effort to start a new COVID-19 vaccine conversation. We're sharing stories intended to help us navigate this unprecedented time together and to co-create solutions in support of the Black community. Hear these stories at weconsiderwa.org.
Hey, all of Macholas, thank you so much for listening to the Men's Room Podcast.
And thanks to our pals at the Advocates Law Firm for being great partners. Yes, even you, creepy Kyle.
Seriously, though, if you'd been injured as a result of somebody else in your car, on your bike, walking across the street, talk to our friends at the Advocates Law Firm and let them help you out.
Yeah, they're the best injury lawyers around, and they want to make sure that you're not taken advantage of. Plus, your first consultation is free.
It's simple. You get injured, the advocates get results. Contact them today at advocateslaw.com.
We return to the men's room with Miles and Thrill. 99.9 KISW.
Category drugs on profile. This Arizona man told police that, yes, he was, in fact, high on drugs after striking an elderly woman with a shovel after she told him to stop swinging his shovel at the birds. Question is, what drug did he admit that he was on? PCP, Flocka, crack, or bath salts?
And Lisa, that is the very question that we posed to you. The Ted Smith, if it starts with you, it's not good news.
That's not.
You went PCP, which is not a bad guess. Keep in mind, rubber bullet, tasers, they had to handcuff him to a chair.
Superhuman strength,
right.
Threatening to kill, murder.
Everything says PCP, but no, it was not PCP. Now, Lisa, you agreed with our very own Miles Montgomery that it was, in fact, bath salts. In fact, saying if it's not PCP, it's probably bath salts. And concurrently, if it's not bath salts, it's probably PCP. You are correct.
Know your bath salts.
That's right. She redeemed herself.
Now, for all TV news all the time, it's time for TV Time with Ted.
And now, because your pathetic life is confined to countless hours in front of a talking box, the Men's Room presents TV Time with Ted.
All right, your choices today. The Jimmys.
Jimmy Fallon, Jimmy Kimmel.
Stephen Colbert.
Ooh, Stephen Colbert.
Seth Meyers.
Okay.
Ted Smith.
Is it Ted or is it late night?
That's a game. We're playing all these guys, the teams of professional writers to help them come up with their monologues each and every night. It is up to you to determine, is this an actual late-night joke and from whom, or could it be a The Ted Smith original?
6 of Dr. Seuss's books would no longer be published. Dr. Seuss Enterprises said the books portray people in ways that are hurtful and wrong. It was weird when Dr. Seuss's estate put out a statement saying that so bang your crumb cruzzles and shake your gum granzeliers. Please forgive us so we don't get canceled. I didn't make that wrong. Jesus. Well, those are made-up words, and I didn't know how to spell them.
Jimmy Kimmel?
Kimmel, yeah.
That's Jimmy Fallon.
6 of Dr. Seuss's books, including And to Think That I Saw It on Mulberry Street and If I Ran the Zoo, will no longer be published. Dr. Seuss Enterprises said these books portray people in ways that are hurtful and wrong.
It was weird when Dr. Seuss's estate put out a statement that said, so bang your crumb cruzzles and shake your grungranzels. Please forgive us so we don't get canceled.
That joke sucked anyhow. I just forgot to pronounce the Z's. How would you spell crumb cruzzles?
You don't know how to spell crumb cruzzle? It's one of the first words I learned as a child, Ted.
Are those from Dr. Seuss's books?
Yes. I don't know if those actually are, but it's in his style.
You can tell how much I know of the doctor. I don't even know if he's top 3 in doctors for me.
Who are your top 3 doctors?
Dr. J.
Okay. Dr. Dre.
Yeah, Dr. Dre. And Dr. Dre from Yo MTV Raps.
What about Dr. Pepper?
I don't mess around with DP too much.
Mike, you tried, bro.
I thought about putting Dr. Pepper on there. You know what, Mike? I'm going to go home and drink a Mr. Pibb.
Save it. I like Dr. Phil.
Reports are out that Kim Kardashian will remain in the $60 million Hidden Hills mansion that she shares with Kanye West during the divorce. Celebrities, they're just like ours. Even in their divorces, the wife keeps the house. Just like us.
Okay, the Ted Smith. Ted Smith.
Yeah. Which I've never been married or divorced, so take my divorce jokes with a grain of salt. Kanye did design a lot of it, though.
Did he?
He did, but also he's been out in Wyoming, allegedly
doing what?
Meeting with people And I will leave it at that because the joke I was going to make, you guys won't care. Mike's the only one that would get it. Playing with makeup.
Oh.
The governor of Texas. Governor of Texas announced that he's lifted the statewide mask mandate. As of March 10th, Texans will no longer be required to wear a face mask coverings in public. So at that point, the only people wearing masks in Texas will be the Lone Ranger and the guy from the Chainsaw Massacre guy.
Fallon.
Kimmel.
The governor of Texas announced today that he is lifting the statewide mask mandate. As of March 10th, Texans will no longer be required to wear face coverings in public. From there on, the only people wearing masks in Texas will be the Lone Ranger and the Chainsaw Massacre guy. So,
man, I had one of those nights where I tried to stay up to watch a couple late night stuff. And, like, you ever fall asleep for, like, 40 minutes, miss most of, like, say, Fallon? Then it's like, all right, Seth Meyers coming on. I'll watch this. Yeah, I fell asleep, woke back up, and it was like an interview. I was like, damn it, I wanted to see his
Now it's Byron Allen.
Right. Yeah. The first space hotel will begin... First space hotel will Bing... Start from the top, Miles! I have no good excuse today. Been up early, doing stuff. The first space hotel will begin construction in 2025. It will include features such as restaurants, a health spa, and a movie theater. Finally, a hotel room where Caesar salad should be $27.
Myers.
Ted Smith.
Myers.
The first space hotel will begin construction in 2025 and will include features such as restaurants, a health spa, and a movie theater. Finally, a hotel where a room service Caesar salad should be $27.
Super guilty of that one myself. Caesar salads and a lot of hotels, the room service after like 10 p.m. There's only a few things you can get.
Yeah.
Also, it's a $25 turkey sandwich.
I know. It's just like a $5 turkey sandwich. It's amazing. They managed to recreate the same thing for 5 times as much money.
Yeah, like if you have a real restaurant or whatever, you're serving real food, I'm like, okay, it's still going to be a huge upcharge. But like, yeah, I remember being in a fancy hotel down in California, and it was like, this is just a turkey sandwich on toast, man.
That's it.
But
you want it.
I was looking at Monterey Bay. All right, so this one's kind of crazy. Not a spoiler alert for the people that love Comic-Con in San Diego. It announced it's going online only for the second year in a row on Monday. But it's kind of interesting. There was a reporter down there for a Fox station. He's in front of the convention center to talk about the decision. He's on. They're going to cut to him live. And then basically, he's live on TV, right? They just cut to him. And what you're going to hear in the background is a shootout with cops and a suspect.
Citing the ongoing pandemic as the reason for the cancellation, this is a big, big loss. We spoke to Trevor Christensen, who owns Activation Pros. They help staff about 200 people every year during the Comic-Con. There's something going on here in the distance. I think we have an officer-involved shooting. Excuse me, let's see if we can come back out live. There's a shooting going on right now between an officer and a car that he had just pulled over. Forgive us for getting out of the story that we're covering. We don't know a lot about what's going on right now or how much we want to cover it. We saw this officer pull over the car about 2 minutes before our live hit. We are a safe distance away, and we're going to kind of stay back. We did see an officer backpedaling as he fired off a couple of shots and retreated. We can see him standing about 80 feet behind his patrol car right now, and we don't know where the suspect might be. So, Phil, we are going to send it back to you so we can get a safe distance away.
How professional is that guy?
He's very professional. I can't believe he apologized for cutting away from the Comic-Con story to report
we get it.
A police-involved shooting. You know,
Comic-Con's a big deal.
I'm sorry if these sci-fi guys don't be mad at me, but
it's just crazy. The cameraman sticks with the reporter for a while, then obviously the cameraman kind of pans over. Turns out the cops pulled over a 29-year-old guy for running a red light. That guy got out, started shooting.
Jesus.
Nobody was injured in the shootout, but one guy one of the guy's stray bullets did hit a random guy nearby in the butt.
No way. Well, it's because it's a pretty populated area. Where he did that is right where the train comes in.
Yeah.
And it's right by the convention center. It's on the water, essentially. You couldn't be any more touristy than that. Petco Park is across the street. All that stuff is right there. It's like, that is not the area that I would assume things would go down in San Diego. You know what I mean?
The guy that got shot in the butt, it's funny, and we can laugh about it because he had his glasses case in his back pocket, so he didn't get hurt.
No way.
Yeah.
Huh.
Now, see, he has a good story.
Who puts their glasses case in their back pocket?
People that get shot in the ass.
Right?
I mean, I don't wear glasses every day, or maybe there was sunglass case. Like, I have my glasses that I wear when I drive.
Would stop a bullet, though.
That I drive at night. Like, I'm trying to think, though. Like, I always just have them in my hand or in the car.
Yeah.
Oh, good thing he puts them in his back pocket.
Right. You just can't sit down.
It's just kind of, well, he's walking.
Yeah.
I mean, there's plenty of things I put in my back pocket that I would never put in there if I was going to attempt to sit down.
You a back pocket phone guy?
No.
No, me neither.
Yeah,
I see that a lot.
Really?
Yeah, just like, and I'm
It's like a ton of people. Because it always looks like it's about to fall out.
And also pickpocketing and everything else. I don't know. I would sit on it, I crack it, or I don't know. I always just, whenever I see it, I go, back pocket phone person.
Right.
You know?
They tend to have a big old spider web right on the front glass there of their phone.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Well,
I'm with you. That just seems odd. I feel like the main back pocket possession for me is our key card to get in here.
Mm-hmm. That's a front pocket possession for me.
Nah, got the wild keys up there, phone on the other side.
You got a crazy system.
But also, I feel like grocery list, always in the back pocket.
Sure.
I also put tickets in there for sporting events, and then I panically check it.
You check
20 times before I go in. I could put them in a different pocket. I do not.
Yeah. So you're not going to. I do the same thing. I keep touching my ass, make sure the tickets are there, because you're surrounded by thousands of people that want to do the same thing you're about to do. And you're right. I could just put them somewhere else.
That'd be a nice problem to have again.
Yeah, I don't know why, but every event I go to, I'm always like, and then it's like, why are we doing this?
Because we refuse to put them somewhere safe.
Because it's your only open pocket.
Right. But if I lose a grocery list, no big deal.
Right.
Let's see. Everybody's probably heard, if you like Coming to America, there's Coming to America 2. The sequel's coming out. And Louis Anderson, who was in the original, had a pretty memorable role. Miles, we make the joke all the time, you know.
Right now I'm washing lettuce.
Right. And he's like, right, but I'm going to move up, get on the fries, make the big bucks.
Mm-hmm. Assistant manager.
So on a recent episode of Jimmy Kimmel Live, Arsenio Hall said, quote, basically, the movie was an all-black cast, and then Paramount Studios said you have to add a white guy. Now, listen, Arsenio Hall and Eddie Murphy are friends with Louis Anderson at this point.
Yeah.
So, so basically, Arsenio Hall told Jimmy, goes, I love Louis, but I think we were forced to put Louis in. We were forced to put a white person, And he said the whole cast was black, and this was back in the 80s. And Paramount was like, we need to have a white person, so there has to be a white person. So, and I love this. So it was, who's the funniest white guy around? And Louis. We knew him. We was cool with him. So that's how Louis got in the movie.
Yeah. You know the interesting, Eddie Murphy has always been kind of a closed-off individual based on his celebrity. But this time around, it seems like, when he's promoting this movie, he seems to be a little bit more open as far as the stories he's willing to tell. I don't know if it's the idea of just the way the Zoom thing is happening for him. He's relaxed at home and doing his thing. But he was...
he's been getting there the last couple of years, though. I mean, I think, like anybody, I think getting a little bit older will always help these things.
So he was talking, Fallon asked him about the Chappelle Show and about his late brother, Charlie Murphy, who was featured in the episode with Prince and Rick James. So Jimmy Fallon asked him about the Prince story. And was that true with the pancakes, the basketball, and all that? And Eddie's like, it's absolutely 100% true. And Charlie said, all right, shirts versus blouses. All the things that went down, the pancakes in the morning.
Game. Blouses.
And, of course, Prince and the Revolution won. They kicked the guy's ass because the one guy didn't have shoes, who Eddie Murphy said was the ringer for their team. So Prince offered him a pair of his shoes that he could wear, but Prince's shoes were like size 7. This guy's wearing like size 12. So he's like, our best player couldn't walk, but he wasn't going to tell Prince he wouldn't wear his shoes. So it's like, I've been enjoying the Eddie Murphy interviews so far on this junket, and I think the movie's out Friday, if I'm not mistaken. It's on Amazon Prime.
So, right, Eddie Murphy, I think in the last couple of years, though, you slowly saw him start to come out to more stuff.
Right.
So I think that's part of it. And then I think also, like, I don't know, you just get to, because for me, Chris Rock was that way for a long time too. And then he kind of, a few years passed and you kind of started seeing more of him like do stuff and this and that. Remember, Chris Rock going back to SNL was a massive thing too, right? Mm-hmm. So, yeah, I don't know. I definitely think it helps. But also for those guys, they're such legends sometimes that I think as years go on and you see how many other powerful people in comedy, acting, this and that would just love you. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
Right, you're the reason to do it.
They're very private people, but after a while, it's like, I think it just, you're like, oh my God, like there is millions of people who legit love me and I'm a huge part of their life.
And continue to set a good example, man.
Yeah, right.
Thank you, Tim. We appreciate it. What?
Foo Fighters, James Corden.
Oh, very cool. You are listening to The Men's Room.
New on Curiosity Stream.
Just because it hasn't been done before doesn't mean you can't.
Watch Earth's greatest minds forge our path to a better tomorrow. It's engineering the future. And Jaws, Star Wars, The Godfather, E.T. The biggest movies have even bigger music. From King Kong to The Dark Knight. See how musicians scored Hollywood's greatest hits on great film composers' music of the movies. Watch now on Curiosity Stream. Annual plans are $20, just $1.67 a month. Visit curiositystream.com.
This podcast is brought to you by the Washington State Department of Health. As we continue to listen, learn, and grow, we are amplifying Black voices and perspectives in an effort to start a new COVID-19 vaccine conversation. We're sharing stories intended to help us navigate this unprecedented time together and to co-create solutions in support of the Black community. Hear these stories at weconsiderwa.org.
Oh, fiddlesticks! What, Wilbur? We just got hit and I think my back is all been out of shape.
You gotta talk with those whippersnappers at the Advocates Law Firm. They're the best injury lawyers around.
What? Pipe down, Clarence! Abner's telling me about the lawyers and the advocates. So what happened to you, Abner?
I was walking across the street with the light when some young punk came screeching around the corner. I lost a toe.
What? Shut it, Clarence! If you get injured, the advocates get results.
AdvocatesLaw.com. Men's Room returns with Miles and Thrill. Now, let's see what's happening in the real world.
Here we go. Pennsylvania woman decides to visit her probation officer with a whole lot of heroin in her purse. My roommate ex-girlfriend attacked me with our cats. Florida man has to tell the nurse with a scratched up face. Man of Vietnam saves $400 million dong on plastic surgery to get a job. Woman in England is addicted to orgasm, saying she's got the corn if you've got the cob. And an Oklahoma church pays off almost $4 million in medical debt to local residents. It is time for your headlines.
Now, it's time to hit the headlines. Here's my car.
And top story, we go to Pennsylvania, where a woman is facing charges for what she brought to the probation office. She had previously been arrested after the car that she was riding in got pulled over, and 1,100 baggies of heroin were seized, 100 of which were in her purse. She now faces charges because in a recent visit to the probation office, it was discovered that she, once again, was carrying upwards of 30 bags of heroin in her purse. So she's cutting back.
Good Lord, man.
Good work.
Okay.
Just don't take it there.
Literally in the same spot. At the probation office, no less. Good work. In other news, a woman in the UK is in the news
Poor form, Mike, you're right.
Yeah, that's right.
Very poor form.
A woman in the UK is in the news for having an unusual syndrome and addiction. She's come forward about her condition, in which she achieves orgasm much too easily and way too often.
I say that about myself.
She says due to the sensitivity of her doorbell, she manages to ring it no less than 5 times while intimate with someone and can even get that particular count going by just looking at someone that she's attracted to. She says she's even suffered through the issue of passing out because of the frequency and intensity.
Damn. I mean, sorry.
I mean, I think if you're dating her, that's awesome.
She's actually had people that were a little bit freaked out by that.
They're stupid. Look, you're going to feel good about yourself every time.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
You also have to just say that maybe if she's dating you, she's probably dating other people as well. I think that would be a good realization to come to.
Her?
Yeah. Why? I can't go 18 times a day.
Well, no, but Mike said sometimes she orgasms just by looking at somebody.
Right.
Oh.
She'll be riding the bus and,
I'm way
hot
too,
guy walks by.
I'm way too attractive for her then.
No, Mike, she's not on the bus and that happens.
That's true. She's on the train.
Yeah, maybe a train, not on the bus.
I think it would be odd if your buddy walks into the room and she's like,
yeah. This does
Settle down over
This
there.
does not happen on Spirit Air. Or a Greyhound.
In Florida, a domestic dispute ended with an assault with an unconventional weapon. The pair had gotten themselves into an argument about an unknown subject, but it boiled to the point that the woman decided to get violent. Instead of grabbing the usual wooden spoon, hairdryer, or dinner food, the woman instead grabbed the cat. She grabbed their pet cat and hurled it at the man's face, causing the animal to scratch his face as it recovered, and she followed it up with a strike to the face from her own hand and was later arrested for assault.
I found that funny. We used to do that when we were teens. My buddy had a cat named Princess.
Okay.
And it's one of those think fast things. Because that's what kids do. We just throw it at the other guy's head because that thing would latch onto your face. And we thought it was so funny when the other one screamed.
Just throw this live pile of razor blades at somebody's face. It's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's in theory it works.
It does.
It does.
Seems
it really
terrible,
does.
though.
Gets the point across.
It is.
A man in Kuala Lumpur is in the news for getting surgery. Tired of the insults on his appearance, the man spent the equivalent of $17,000 American from his savings to get plastic surgery. These insults weren't from your average internet trolls. He actually had job interviewers inform him that he was being turned down from particular positions because he was so ugly.
Yeah. I've been told, man, you're qualified, but you're too ugly to hire. And this happened more than once.
And the thing is...
I know, it's probably that guy.
Hit him in the Kuala Lumpur. He still can't get a job.
I can only say no because this guy is considerably thinner.
He didn't look that bad, to be honest with you. It wasn't like he was some golem, but...
No, he really didn't.
No.
He looked like a normal kid with a dirt stack.
Trying to get a job at a jewelry store.
And then as if your headlines with that, Mike Hawkins.
Thank you, Mike. We appreciate it. We'll see you next time with the return of the head chef with Ted's Meat and Potatoes. And once again, we will play the game known as Big Dummy.
Yes, indeed. It's all true. But in the meantime, we be all about this bitch. So until next time, please do what you do best. And for Aletha's sake, stay beautiful.
The Men's Room has been taped before a live studio audience. Wardrobe and makeup provided by Mantastic Limited. This has been a presentation of the Men's Room Radio Network. Oh, man! A Double Flush production.